So one of my favorite things to do is find just odd things at Dollar Tree that I would probably never buy and turn them into fun decor pieces. So that's what I'm gonna do with this hello sign. So when I saw this sign, I thought this would make a really cool sculptural piece. So I'm gonna start by using my wire cutters to bend out the wires on this hello sign to make them as straight as possible. Once I got them as straight as I could, now I'm gonna try to bend them up so they almost make kind of like a horseshoe shape. And then when I get to the top, I'm gonna cut them off so they're as even as possible. Now you may already have one of these beaded wreaths on hand. I know they were really popular a month or two ago. They come in a couple different finishes. The one I'm gonna be using is the one that's in like the medium tone finish. And I'm gonna start by using my wire cutters to cut through the wreath because I wanted to use the beads that were already on there. Then I'm just going to simply take the beads off and loop them onto my horseshoe ring figurine. Once I got it completely covered, when I got to the last one at the top on either side, I added in hot glue to secure the beads in place. And here's a look at how this piece turned out in my decor. I absolutely love the acrylic organizers that they sell at Dollar Tree for $1.25, but I wanted to add some paint to them so that they fit in better with my decor that I had just created. So I'm gonna add painter's tape around the middle, and my plan is to paint the bottom. I want it to be black, but when I'm painting something like plastic or acrylic, I find that it helps to add in an element like baking soda. That's gonna give that paint a grip texture and it's just gonna hold in place so much better. And you typically have to do less coats when you're painting. So I mixed the black paint with a little bit of baking soda, and then I'm gonna do one coat along the bottom of both of my containers, and then I'll let that dry. I did a second coat. Once that was completely dry, I removed the painter's tape. I added these containers in my bathroom with makeup brushes, but really you could add anything you want to organize in your bathroom to these containers. Mirrors typically provide a really high-end look, but you don't always have to keep them as mirrors. You can turn them into wall art, and that's what I'm gonna do with this DIY. So you're gonna need 3 circle mirrors from Dollar Tree. You're gonna disassemble the mirrors. Next, I'm going to add in some washi tape. You can get this anywhere. The one I bought is off of Amazon. I'll link it for you down below. And I'm gonna cut my washi tape off and I'm gonna put it in some different geometric patterns. I really didn't have any rhyme or reason to this. I just wanted each of the 3 mirrors to look a little bit different. Next, spray paint your mirrors with a frosted spray paint. This works so well and you only need 1 coat. I'm gonna do 1 coat on top of all of my mirrors. Now with my frames, I'm going to spray those. Pick your favorite color. I'm gonna go with blue. And you wanna do 2 coats of spray paint on your frames. Once everything has a chance to dry, remove your washi tape and you're gonna see the really cool pattern underneath. Then I'm going to reassemble my frames by adding the mirror with hot glue to the backing piece. Then I'll place it into my frame and then I'll add a little bit of hot glue on the back to secure it. You can hang these on your wall with command strips. Picture frames can be really pricey and they're really also easy to recreate with Dollar Tree items. On one of my recent Dollar Tree shopping trips, I found these wood pieces that I thought would make perfect frames. They were in the crafter's square, so I picked up 2 of them. So I really liked the look of the lighter wood, but I felt like the darker wood could use a little bit of help. So I used one of my medium stains on the outside of the frame. I also used that on the inside where the inside of the frame was a darker wood. And to add the stain, I simply used a paper towel to wipe it on, and then I wiped off any excess with a clean paper towel. I received a message from a follower, Little Pink Pickup, on Instagram with an amazing idea. I don't know how I didn't think of this. She said, if you ever want an inexpensive leather handle, go to the thrift store and buy a belt. It's so much more affordable. And I was like, that's a genius idea. So that's exactly what I did. I went to the thrift store and I found a belt for $3. I'm gonna use this belt to create handles for my picture frames. So I cut off the buckle. Then I divided the belt in half and then I cut it down the middle. Then I'm going to shape the belt at the top so it creates a handle, and I'll hot glue it to the back. I'm gonna repeat that step on my other frame, making sure that they're about the same height. I wanted some frames for a recent trip I took to Chicago, so I just printed off pictures from our trip. They're 5x7s and I printed them in black and white. I'll add E6000 to the 4 corners of my frame and I'll place them in the center. And here's how they look hung up together. One of the things I really struggle with, you guys, is air dry clay. I have tried so many different ones, from like the Model Magic. I've bought some off of Amazon. I've bought some at Dollar Tree. And no matter what I do, they all seem to crack. So I would really appreciate your guys' recommendations in the comments for any clay that works well for you. Now, I'm gonna show you how I salvage this next project, but again, I had the cracks. So you're going to need a container of air dry clay. I'm gonna cut off a small piece and I'm going to roll it out with my rolling pin. Now, maybe my problem is that I make them too thin. So maybe that's something I need to make them just a little bit thicker. Now for this project, I'm gonna use some Dollar Tree florals and I'm going to press them into my clay. After I press them in, you wanna make sure that they go in far enough so you can really see the texture in those florals. I'm gonna roll the edges to create an organic look around the edge. Now, once it completely dried, I did have some cracks. So to fix what I had, I went back in with a little bit of air dry clay on the back side and just placed it along the edge and let that dry. And I felt like that did kind of save my project. Let me know if you guys have any recommendations for those clays. And then I wanted to add a little bit of paint to bring out the detail in the tray. So I'm gonna use my gold Rub and Buff. I'll link that for you down in the description box as well. But I used the Rub and Buff and a foam brush and just brushed that along where I had created that stamp texture. And then I also added the Rub and Buff to the edges, and this just creates a beautiful tray. I think these are great to put out in your kitchen or in your bathroom for jewelry or accessories. Have you ever wondered what to do with those Dollar Tree vases that they have pretty much all year round in the floral section? Well, here's an idea to make a really cool vase. So start with one of those clear vases and remove the labels. You're gonna spray paint the vase with the color Nutmeg, and this gives a really cool matte brown look. Next, we're gonna add a fun paint technique. So you're going to need a flat paintbrush. With my paintbrush, I wanted to create some notches. So I just went in with my pair of scissors and I'm gonna start cutting out notches on this paintbrush. This is going to create a feathered look for your paintbrush. Next, grab any white or cream paint. I went with like a cream paint that I had in a sample paint color, and you don't want your brush to be covered very much with paint. So put a little bit of paint on there and actually wipe some of it off so there's just very little. I'm going to start by creating diagonal strokes of my paint. Now, again, you don't want this to be too heavy, so go in lighter. You can always come back in with more paint. And I'm going to continue to create diagonal lines around my vase. Then I came back in and put some horizontal lines, but really you could do anything with this. I just think it's a really fun, textured, feathered look. Let that dry and add in some of your favorite florals. Dollar Tree has these new hanging florals out that are so cool. I hope you guys can find them this spring, but I'm gonna show you how they look styled in this vase. Hey guys, I'm Liz and you're watching my second DIY channel where I post daily DIY videos. You may be familiar with my main channel, Liz Fenwick DIY, but I'm glad that you found me over here on my second channel. Make sure that you're subscribed so you just get notified every day when I post our daily DIY video.